plastic this, plastic that. But what is the solution?
So here we are in the episode 3 of our podcast series Plastic Free July, powered by EHC. So in this episode we are not only going to discuss about the problems, but we are also going to discuss about solutions. So we are going to take you on a trip from the oceans of Vietnam to the streets of KPK and Still. So if you are a person wondering how you can make a dent in climate change, so this episode is a blueprint for you.
The law is also getting serious. For example, European Union packaging and packaging waste regulations just also moved from a voluntary action into an actual law. And extended producer responsibility also moved from more of a conscious choice into an actual action that tells that harder the product is to recycle, the higher the price tag will be.
Yes, Tanya, and even the Thailand's own bill has passed a ban on plastic import. So the world is getting serious about plastic management through regulatory bodies.
A whole state banning plastic just like that. But is this really the solution? What about those low-income houses whose livelihood depend on plastic industries? What about those countries whose waste production is below the concern? So I guess the solution is not the banning of plastic, but the management.
So Sanya, you are right. Actually, plastic becomes the problem when it enters into our water bodies. So if we want to manage this, we have to stop it from entering our water bodies.
That is actually a good point, because if it becomes the part of oceans, to dig it out of the ocean is gonna cost more, and we hate cost. Now we can stop plastic from going into the oceans by doing some things. Now one question can come to your mind: what if we can make plastic that does not live forever? So here we are going in our
Yes,
next
Sanya, exactly. I was thinking the same, that we should shift our attitudes towards biodegradable plastics. And you know, some companies like EcoPure and Polymateria are already doing this. They are making self-destructive plastic.
Okay, that is a really interesting thing. Biodegradable means the plastic can safely return to the soil without being trapped in that soil for thousands and thousands of years. But what if this plastic is not accessible to everyone? For example, in our country, biodegradable products are most costly, right? So I guess instead of going to the biodegradable solution at the first step, we should try to catch the waste at the source, like using some nature-based technologies or some other kind of tech that some countries are already working on. Is there some low-cost and startups that are working on this?
Yes, exactly, Sanya. Many informal waste pickers are doing this. They are collecting plastic waste, but they are informal waste pickers. And in our own country, the Akhtar Hamid Khan Foundation in Bhuttanagar, this organization or foundation is connecting individual waste pickers with the recyclers, and you can say the plastic market. So actually, this thing is going on in different regions.
Okay, so you are saying that what if we can use our own informal waste system and shift that into more of an employment mode,
Yes,
and we can make a perfect model out of this, I guess,
Yes.
generating economies and collecting plastic, right?
Hmm.
Yes, that reminded me of something that I read recently about the plastic bank. Now, the plastic bank is also a community-led initiative that strengthens the informal waste system, basically incentivizing the workers. And it is working in 5 countries. It has also earned brand partners like Coca-Cola to reduce their plastic footprint by earning plastic credits. So this is how we can strengthen our own informal waste system, basically a win-win for the community and a win-win for the environment. But what if this plastic still reaches the ocean? How are we going to tackle that?
Yes, Sanya, exactly. The giant oceans have giant reefs of plastic, like the giant Great Barrier Reef in the ocean. So basically, many tech brains are working on this, like the plastic fisher. This is stopping 2.5 million kilogram of plastic from entering into the ocean. And here comes the trash boom, which is a net made up from the recycled plastic and with the help of community employment. So basically, this net collects the plastic trash, and then the 10% of this is going to the recycling sector.
Exactly. And I also read something about the interceptor, right?
Yeah, I also came to know about the interception, which is from the Ocean Cleanup Project. And basically, the Ocean Cleanup Project is a TEDx winner, and this is the project who is leading the tech related solutions in this plastic management field.
And especially it is one of my favorite projects, the Interceptor. So shout out to the ocean cleanup and Plastifisher who are doing a really great work. Seriously, like I really want to implement
the
that
same
one day.
thing.
Yes, exactly. Also, but what if these technologies are not available in our nation, or what can we say, on ground? So we can also think of some national examples like EcoBricks, who are actually actively recycling plastic and turning it to products like school benches, planters, and doing really great things. So we can also learn from that. Also, interestingly, one thing that we all think about is that we have to be young to work from some kind of change. But no, you can work from change, work for change at any age you are. For example, one article from Tribune, I guess, highlighted Seema Babar, the work of Seema Babar, who is a village woman about 80 above years of age. And she is running a women's skill center. She is basically teaching girls how to sew, and she is also contributing to the environment by making cloth bags and discouraging the use of plastic. So we can learn a really great examples from around us. We can even start the groundwork from around us. We just have to have an eye for it.
Yes, and these are the persons just like you and me. So we have the power to create the change. I love these success stories, Sanya, where one has the resources and utilize that other has for betterment. So let's see what's happening in Hyderabad. They have a plastic recycling plant. So basically, what they are doing, they take the plastic and use it for the manhole covers. So basically, the plastic recycled manhole covers. Think about it, how brilliant the idea is. Actually, we know that the traditional manhole covers are constantly being stolen for the scrap metal, and the recycled plastic manhole covers have no resale value for the thieves. So actually, we on a one side we consume the plastic, we recycle the plastic, and on the other side it is a
We
life
protect.
saving
Exactly,
idea.
exactly.
So
And that is how we can really work with the local authorities and shift to a more sustainable choice that is also cost friendly and protect us from these kind of situations. I guess it was Vietnam in WWF report Vietnam Green Joy, where Vietnam Green Joy collaborated with the local authority to reduce the weight of plastic straws. What they do, they basically used alternative nature-based solution like using some kind of grass to make their plastic straw. And doing this, they reduced 11 million ton of plastic, and they also provided employment to the rural women who are actually growing these grasses.
that's
So we can really shift from to these initiatives, and we just need to look around. To be
yes,
very
we have
honest.
many resources and
We
we
have
have
many,
many
yeah.
ideas. Yes.
Okay, partner, what are you waiting for? We need to go.
Yes, Tanya, because all these discussions and inspiring stories remind me about our own plastic recycling solution that we pitch. And you know that all these solutions connecting my mind towards that.
Exactly. That was the competition that led us on this journey. From the plastic competition to EHCO. This is our journey. We have given you all these solutions. Now what are you waiting for? Be ready for the implementation and stay connected with us. This is Let's Talk Climate powered by EHCO. Let's see you next week. तब तक के लिए bye.